Hey guys, welcome back. Or if you're new, welcome in. I'm Scorpion Goddess, and today I'm going to tell you about my cancer story and how I beat cancer naturally and all that. So, in 2010, when I was living in Miami, I ended up getting this, health checkup done and pap smear and all that. And then my doctor called me a week later and told me to come in and talk to them. So I talked to them, and it was like I was actually living on campus, so it was the doctor from the school. And they basically told me, you have cervical cancer, and it's stage 3, which is very dangerous. And so you need to go see an oncologist and start getting some treatments. Otherwise, like, really, when you're in stage 3, it can progress to stage 4 at any time, and they don't know when because they don't know how long you've been in stage 3 for. So I was like, wow. And at the time, I didn't have health insurance. So I couldn't pay for those visits. They wanted $150 just to go make an appointment with the oncologist, not the actual biopsy, which is where they use a microscope to look at the cells on your cervix and in your uterus and stuff like that. And then figure out what type of treatment the Western medicine doctors want to do, right? So I ended up going back home to Daytona, depressed as fuck, feeling hopeless because my family is not wealthy. And so my mom knew, but I didn't tell anybody else, So pretty much I just started drinking myself to death and getting more and more and more depressed. And I'm like, well, fuck it. I can't see my kid right now. I didn't want to live anymore because of that alone. Now I found out I have cervical cancer. So, I just started drinking myself to death. And I was like, in my mind, I was for sure going to die. But my Aunt Rita, before she passed away, me and her were very close. She lived in Palm Coast, so we would talk on the phone almost every day. And she knew that I was really depressed. I didn't even tell her until, like, I don't know, a few months went by. Excuse me. And she was like, I know something's wrong with you. Why don't you tell me, blah, blah, blah. So I finally told her the truth. And she was like, oh, my God, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, well, I can help you. And I'm like, what do you mean you can help me? And she was like, yeah, I'm a Reiki master. And I'm like, what's that? Like, I've never heard of that in my life. And she was like, explaining to me that Reiki is, it means universal life force energy. Yeah. And you can heal with it. Anyways, I'll make a really in-depth video about it. But anyways, yes, it's a Japanese energy healing modality that basically heals from source. When you open your crown and you can channel the energy down through your arms and through your hands. It goes through your heart chakra, actually. And then from your heart out your arms through the palms of your hands. And you can do a long distance and all that stuff. And she explained it to me. And there's no side effects. So it either works and does what it does, or it's not going to affect a person if they are meant to die that way. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, everything is by God's divine will. And there's already a plan and everything's already mapped out. So if that person, God designed for them to pass away in that way, the Reiki will not stop that because that would override God. Anyways. I'm sorry, guys. I already drank my water. Anyways, so she's like, well, we can start doing long distance Reiki. And then like once a month, we can meet up in person and do an in-person Reiki session. And I was like, okay, cool. So we did that for 6 months. She did 6 months of long distance Reiki, which is Hanshaze Shonen. And all the other ones too, but that's the long distance symbol. So she did that for 6 months, and we met up once a month and did that. And then my dad came down from Massachusetts, and he was like, listen, why don't you come upstate with me? You can get Mass Health, and they have like the best cancer centers in the country. and you can get everything that you need taken care of, so nothing bad happens. So I ended up moving up to Massachusetts, and so we're in Springfield, and I got my Mass Health and made my appointment and everything. And then the day that I went to see the oncologist, she used to work for the Navy. She was a Navy what's that called, gynecologist, but she was a cancer specialist as well for women's reproductive. And so she got the clamp in there all up in the cooch, you know what I'm saying? And she is quiet, and then out of nowhere she goes, "Oh my God." So I like pop my head up and I'm like, "Oh my God, what you mean? A good oh my God or a bad oh my God?" And she didn't say nothing. She got quiet. So now I'm scared. I'm like, "Oh fuck, I'm about to die. Like, this shit ain't work." And then she's like, "Oh no." She's like, "I don't understand this. I have all your paperwork from Florida and your cancer cell levels and this and that." And she goes, "I don't understand." She's like, "I don't even see one precancerous cell present. Like, absolutely nothing." She goes, "But I'm going to do another pap smear and send it off to the lab and have them test it just to verify that what I'm seeing here with the microscope is correct." She goes, "But I mean, honestly, in over 25 years of practice," she goes, "literally, you have the healthiest cervix and uterus I have seen all of these years." She goes, "So I don't understand how these cancer cell levels were so high and all this stuff." But so I just started crying because that was like March, I want to say, or April. March or April. I don't know. But my Aunt Rita passed away in January. So she literally saved my life. And, I couldn't thank her face to face. But that blew my mind so much because, I was in pain. I was feeling different, And I just thought, it was just woman shit, period related shit, not cancer. And then when I seen the doctor call me that day and told me that I had cervical cancer and it was really bad, that was terrifying. And I never heard of Reiki before, so I didn't believe it. I just thought it was some weird fucking shit, But no. Reiki is very powerful, and that energy comes from source, and it is, we already have our own natural healing centers in our body, but when you connect with source, and if you do get attuned to Reiki, another Reiki master has to attune you, which basically, inscribes the sacred symbols on your third eye chakra and your crown chakra, which reconnects your energy system to the source energy even deeper than you already are, because we're already connected to source, those of us that have souls, like I said. But yeah, so I was healed. And after that, when Rita passed away, I got all of her books and her custom guitars because she was a musician. Rita was a fucking rock star, and Rita was a Marine. Okay, she was a kick-ass motherfucker. And I love you. And I miss her so much. But anyways, yeah, so like energy healing is so very real. It is so very powerful. There are extremely powerful herbs, especially from China and, Asia, India region. Yeah, and there's also this book called 1,000 Herbs That Cure Cancer. And ironically, all of the studies that were done in there by all of these different groups of scientists and doctors around the whole world were from like the 1930s, 1940s. And some were even way earlier than that proved herbs has the power to kill cancer. And then there's other documentaries that prove you can turn cancer cells on and off by not consuming meat and dairy products, which is one of the reasons why I want to go back vegan as soon as I can. And there's I have a different skin condition too that's technically an autoimmune disease, and it's not contagious or anything. But yeah, I was vegetarian for like 4 years, but I need to go back vegan. But anyways, that's besides the point. Point is, when you do energy healing and you work with the energy bodies, okay, because all of the physical ailments are rooted in the spirit somewhere. whether if it's your mental body, your emotional body, um, your spirit body somewhere. Okay. So basically, when you take drugs from the doctor, it's putting a band-aid on the symptoms that your body is feeling, so you don't feel the symptoms anymore. But the root cause of that condition is still rooted in the spirit somewhere. So if you're not doing any type of energy healing modality to treat the spirit, and then using the herbs to treat the physical vessel of the body, that is true healing. Okay, because when you just keep taking pills and you're temporarily masking the symptoms of an ailment or a disease or a condition, what's going to happen is you're not going to feel those symptoms anymore. And you're going to form another condition or disease in the body somewhere else. But it's still connected to that very first thing. And that's how people end up on multiple different drugs and pills and stuff like that. And it's really sad. But also, you need to keep in mind that the symptoms, when we get hurt or we get sick or something doesn't feel right in our body, our symptoms that we feel are like the most imperative for us. That is a good thing. We are supposed to feel those symptoms because that's our body's way of telling us something is wrong. The body is not at ease. And the only way to heal it and fix it and balance it is if you can feel that there's something wrong. So if you didn't feel the pain or you didn't feel whatever it is, you wouldn't know there's a problem. So by taking the pill, it doesn't make the problem go away. It just makes you numb to the symptoms. But the actual problem is still there. So yes, Reiki energy healing is so extremely powerful. And I have like many other stories to tell of miracles that I have done, but it wasn't me. It was source energy and Reiki energy that I can make videos about in the future, because I became a Reiki master after that, actually while I was pregnant with my second son, Arnelo. So yeah. I just wanted to share that story because it is really powerful and it is so very true and so very real. And I am a cancer survivor. Thank you, Aunt Rita. I love you so much with all of my heart and soul. And actually, I have connected with Rita numerous times after she had passed away and had conversations with her and thanked her. And she's with me all the time. Like I'm telling you, if you meditate and you really connect with your loved ones that are passed away, they will communicate with you and they will appear to you like physically, as long as you're not afraid. But they would not appear and scare you, you know? If they're going to appear, they're going to come in their normal state. They're not going to be all crazy looking or mangled up if they got, into an accident or something like that. No, they're going to look like their normal self. Like sometimes they could be so real looking, like it looks like they're a solid person standing in the room. And then other times, like my best friend Shauna that passed away, she appears to me randomly sometime. Like one night I got up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. When I came back, she was like sitting up on my bed, like smiling at me with her leg crossed, like, hey girl. And I'm like, oh, shut up. Yeah, so it's dope as fuck. But that time when I seen her, you could see through her, but she was like a thick, misty fog kind of looking, but you could see her face crystal clear, her clothes, like not the colors. She was all like a whitish fog, but you can make out her features just like you can see me, but just picture me as a white foggy haze, kind of like one of those apps if you change the filter. Yeah, I don't know, it's dope. But anyways, okay, I'm gonna end it there because I'm rambling. Love you guys. Love and light, love and light.